In December 1995, the run of NovaBridge Systems ended without a shout. It ended with a turned key, a frosted glass door, and a ceiling fan left spinning in an empty room, abandoned but still in motion. For 10 years, the 5 founders had operated as a surrogate family. They were held together by the daily effort of building a software company that could bridge India's emerging technology sector with the global market. That effort stopped in April 1995. The global fallout from the attacks in New York sent a shockwave through every financial corridor, bringing international deals to a sudden halt. The panic cascaded directly into emerging markets. Foreign portfolios abruptly pulled their investments, draining the capital that companies like NovaBridge needed to stay solvent. There was no boardroom fight or explosive bankruptcy. Instead, Kiran executed a quiet, orderly wind-down. He spent 6 weeks methodically settling every outstanding payment, paying his employees an extra month's salary, and securing the files for his clients. On the final day, Kiran stood alone in the corridor. He turned the key in the lock and walked away, leaving the spinning ceiling fan for the building manager to deal with. The company's shared gravity dissolved through the mundane, repetitive procedure of settling debts and returning office keys. What followed was the scatter. The load-bearing daily thread of the office began unraveling into a thin, occasional connection maintained over long-distance phone calls and holiday messages. Kabir left first, taking a consulting role in Mumbai and maintaining his warmth from afar. Vimal packed his apartment into a rented truck with quiet efficiency, offered a final handshake, and drove home to Kochi. Priya accepted a position in Bengaluru. She left on a Sunday morning with 2 suitcases and the single laptop containing 10 years of company spreadsheets, kept just in case the data was needed again. Because there was no obvious conflict to rebel against, the founders simply surrendered to the slow accumulation of separate lives. Sita remained in Delhi, functioning as a low-intensity link between the scattered families. She kept exactly 73 meeting minutes from the post-accident years in a box on her kitchen table, meticulously filed and eventually moved into storage. Her 6-year-old son, Ram, internalized this atmosphere of continuation. He observed the box and sensed his mother's unresolved burden without ever being told the details of the company's end. Even as the physical company dissolved, the structural loyalty of NovaBridge was preserved in these quiet, unseen acts of archiving and memory. The original center of gravity remained in Kolkata, where someone stayed behind to hold the line. Kiran stayed because of the care facility on the other side of the city, where his brother, Shekhar, had been in a coma since the night of the accident. The arithmetic was staggering. Kiran visited his brother on the 2nd Thursday of every month, 360 days beside a silent bed. He would deliver updates on the scattered founders to a brother who could not answer. For Ram, this unchanging hospital room became the most stable, reliable fact of his childhood amid the geographical scatter. In January 2019, Kiran arrived for his 316th visit, following the same mundane routine he had maintained for decades. This time, he bypassed the newspaper. He opened his phone to show his brother a specific discovery he had been tracking in private. The screen showed a heritage photograph of a stone farmhouse on a misty hillside, anchored by an enormous orchard. Kiran leaned in and whispered, "I found something." 30 years of Second Thursdays had held the family's center in place. Now, Kiran's discipline provided a new direction for the lives that spent decades drifting apart.